Check, check. I am live finally. Sorry that took me so long. I always get over ambitious for how quickly I can pull myself together. Let's see, top chat, live chat. Okay. So, how is the sound again now that I have wasted so much time trying to make sure that I don't have bad hair and stupid stuff like that? Um, I only have about 20 to 25 minutes, just like last night. I was trying to give myself a full hour, but hopefully I can get on later today because there is just so much going on. It's insane. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, and learn something. And all my videos are made for YouTube. It's an infotainment platform. Please hit your like button. Share a video of mine, turn on your notification bell to ring, and subscribe. Let's see if I can make that a little more, OCD. There we go. I don't know if you can see the tiny little squirrel right here. There's also one up in the tree up here. I'll point them out later on a different video because we got to get down to business. All right. The photo that I used for the thumbnail of the unicorn with the MS-13. I just thought that was hilarious. Super cute. And, comedy is important. It's really important. And it's actually statistically the most important thing to women when they're looking for a mate. Like, yes, they like broad shoulders. They like someone who's confident. They like someone who is successful and nice, kind, nurturing, funny. Funny is the most important one. And if you're a chick, you know this, right? Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I thought I'd throw that in there because, guys, being fun and funny is a huge turn on. But some people don't seem to understand that, and they think being a tough guy is going to turn women on, and maybe some women, but no, those are yeah. Let's just jump tracks. All right. So, have you guys noticed the way the Trumpster fire keeps sitting at the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, or as I like to call it, the snot desk? Let's see if I can get this. Let's see. He's got his left hand over his right. I don't know. I get my left and my right confused, and then this thing gets it more confused. He always has the same hand covering the back of the other hand, always. And he sits there so still, and his hands, first of all, his fingers look odd. Like the man is having medical complications, is my point. Yesterday, I noticed a whole slew and flurry of other channels doing videos about a suspected catheter that they thought they could see, like the tubing and stuff like that in his pants. I'm like, God, don't make me look at his crotch one more time. But I think that that's very likely. And I think that just the fact that he's hiding his medical records, like, don't hide crap. I mean, it just makes you look like you're hiding crap. And it's okay to have medical issues, like, especially when you're like 78.95. Wait, no, he's like 78.99 now because he turns 79 in 3 days, and it's going to be the biggest, greatest birthday party. We're going to have ponies and a bouncy house and unicorns inside the bouncy house. So, wow. How insane is this thing, the spectacle? I just hope that everything remains peaceful. That's my main issue. But why does Trumpster Fire keep ending his truths when he posts them on his Truth Social? Why does he keep ending them with "thank you for your attention to this matter"? so weird. Like, why doesn't he just start out to whom it may concern? I don't know. I just find it very odd. It's not every single one of them, but it seems to be a large percentage, maybe like 1 in 4 or something like that. I don't know. I'm not on Truth Social. I just see what gets put out in the public eye, like on the news and stuff like that. But I want to get back to the paid insurrectionists on January 6th. I have never really thought about, were these insurrectionists paid? But we all know that he pardoned all of them across the boards on his first day in office. And then he's been speaking about paying restitution to these folks. Ashley Babbitt's family, he's been saying he's going to give them like $5 million. Like, that'll set a precedence. And then what about the people, like the law enforcement families who lost loved ones, or law enforcement that lost limbs or lost their jobs, PTSD, that kind of thing? I don't think any of them are getting any money from Mr. Trumpster Fire, but he is planning on paying the insurrectionists. And I believe that he will. I fully believe that he will. And it wasn't until yesterday, when he keeps talking about these paid insurrectionists in Los Angeles, that all of a sudden it dawned on me, oh, dude is ratting himself out again. Absolutely ratting himself out again. Can you hear me okay? It looks like I have a couple people in the house. It looks like the little dots are moving. So yeah, I only have like 15 more minutes. So let me run down my thing here. I woke up this morning thinking, these people that ICE is rounding up and putting in prison, most of them that get put into a prison, like that one in El Salvador, or let's say Gitmo Bay, or if they open up Alcatraz or whatever, wherever these prisons are, I believe that they're going to put these people in there for the rest of their days. And who's profiting off of this? Who's making the money? What they made a contract with Libya, I think, African nation. They paid them like $100,000. It was like dirt cheap, and so they can start putting their prisoners there. They're making contracts with different countries. It's pretty freaking frightening. But certainly people that own these prisons are getting paid per head, probably government contracts. So the government is probably in charge of how much they pay and to who. And I'm just really curious, who owns the prisons? Who's making the money? And it feels like they are being held hostage. It's, Trumpster Fire had been calling the insurrectionists hostages for the last 4 years, 5 years that they were in prison, until he set them free. But yeah, I really think that Donnie must have promised these people that if they participated in the insurrection, that they would be absolved and not held accountable for any crimes that they could be charged with, because he believed that he would become the president again, or that he would maintain his presidency, and that he could make that call, and that he could pardon anybody, and he could set the laws. And my goodness, could he be any crazier? Could he be any crazier? They thought they could overthrow the government. He thinks he can overthrow the government. What's frightening is that is pretty damn close. If Pence hadn't stood up to him, all hell would have busted loose. All hell, in my opinion. So I believe strongly that Donnie feels zero control in his life right now. I mentioned this, I think, in my video yesterday, that right now, every millisecond of the day, he knows that Elon could blow him up in the blink of an eye and out him for whatever he can out him for in regards not only to the e-files, but more importantly, in my opinion, in regards to the entire election potential fraud. So I believe that these courts that are doing investigations of the anomalies, the irregularities, the improbabilities, precinct to precinct, they're finding a lot. I think there's a precinct in New York that this is the one that has given the green light for the investigation. I think it's like the first one. So they probably gave the green light almost 2 weeks ago now. I think that's the same precinct that had close to 80% of the ballots were voting for Democrats across the boards, except El Presidente, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz's ticket got zero, not a single vote from the entire precinct. That 80% of them, or close to 80%, I think it was like 79, voted Democrat across the boards, except that they all want, not one of them wants Kamala because she's so evil. You know, she's not a man and she's not white. So that's a problem. I mean, that is a problem for some people. And, you know, honestly, in my opinion, she wasn't the ideal candidate, but I think it was like the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, who, yeah, honey.
We need to leave in like 10 minutes.
Okay, thanks, hon. Let's see, Jon Stewart, who said, you know, basically Kamala is the only thing, like if Donnie was an angry rhinoceros, Kamala is the only thing between you and the rhinoceros, like a tranquilizer gun. Like, are you going to pick it up or not? You know, I thought that was a really good analogy. So that was my daughter telling me, wrap it up, Mom. We got to get going to practice. She's got basketball practice, and I'm really glad about that. One sec. So with when you don't feel any control over your own life is when you try to control other people's lives. So I believe that Elon's major posts that were so upsetting to Donnie and the interweb the other day, the one saying the real reason that they won't release the Trump files, Freudian slip, the Epstein files, is because Trump is in them. And OMG, you guys have probably seen the videotapes of Vance, JD Vance, and then also Kash Patel. Patel was on Joe Rogan, and he literally said, you know, I'm staying out of this. That's not my lane. It's like, dude, as director of the FBI, it's exactly your lane. Exactly your lane. It's not your lane. You're in that lane. You can't stay out of it. Unless, of course, you want to quit your job, which, you know, I think could be a good call on his behalf. A lot of the people in these positions are completely unqualified. Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, Caroline Leavitt, Scott Bessent, Nutlick. Need I go on? These people are clowns. I mean, it's a clown car. And obviously, everybody in the cabinet, in the president's cabinet, every single one of them are yes men. That is the only qualifying requirement. You have to be a yes man. Nothing else matters. Nobody tells Donnie Tudor what to do. Not even Putin. I mean, Elon, I still believe Elon has the upper hand. And to be clear, I'm no fan of Mr. Musk. I think that he's a complete screwball. But I think that El Presidente is actually an even worse screwball. I mean, it's hard to say. It's kind of a toss-up. But in this situation, in regards to the information that Elon has on Donnie, in my opinion, I believe that Elon interfered with the election, and that's what that second tweet was about. Is exactly what that second post on X was about. After dropping the Epstein bomb, then saying that he won the election for Trump. And I think that that was open to interpretation, and that a lot of people could read that and say, oh, he won with his popularity, he won with his money. But we know that the money and the popularity didn't help him in Wisconsin. It's my opinion that there was all kinds of election interference. All kinds meaning electronic interference, meaning the 200 bomb threats. I don't think there's ever been a bomb threat on the election day for president in our country. There certainly hasn't been 200 of them. And I've mentioned in one of my videos recently that every single one of the bomb threats was via email. There were no phone calls, there were no notes, there were no faxes or posts or any other line of communication. Every single one of the threats was an email, and every single one of the email addresses originated from Russia. Who knew? So there is that police officer from Palm Beach, I forget his name, that resigned after 5 years. West Palm Beach, not police officer, deputy sheriff, who ran to Russia for asylum. Remember, Russia offered Elon asylum after he made that post about the files and about the election. Anyway, let me wrap it up so I can get my girl to her practice. I believe that Elon was threatening, do what I want, or I'm going to out you for the election fraud. I would bet you, in my opinion, in my pipe dream, in my fantasy, Elon has been consulting with attorneys how to tell the truth about the election without incriminating himself. Because obviously, if he did what I think he did, he committed crimes. However, when you have that much money, you can always wiggle your way out of things and make plea deals. And I'd be surprised if that's not Elon's plan, because these two egomaniacs having a pissing contest like little boys, neither one of them is used to losing. They both have been treated like princes from the day that they were born. They both have been given everything they want, and they want it all, and they want more, and they don't want anyone to hold a candle to them. Like, they think that they're the almighty. So I don't really believe that Elon's going to just be quiet the way he has been. I think it's the quiet before the storm. So fingers crossed, I'm hoping. I mean, this individual that we have in office is so dangerous, in my opinion. What's going on in Los Angeles and all the threats, and then simultaneously, while he's deploying all the National Guardsmen and Marines to Los Angeles, they're also supposed to be in the parade in Washington, D.C. Or is he going to have things wrapped up by then? I was stunned yesterday when I found out that the deployments of the officers of the military was for 60 days. I'm pretty sure that's for both the Marines and the National Guard. 60 days. Like, really? What a freak show, man. What an absolute freak show. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah. So to summarize, Mr. Musk could metaphorically unalive Mr. Trumpster fire in a nanosecond. The anxiety that Mr. Trumpster fire must be living with moment to moment right now, knowing that that could happen. And maybe he's thinking that it won't. Maybe he's negotiating deals so that it doesn't. But just knowing that it could and that he has no control over it. It's really all about control. Everything in this world with power, with money, with relationships, it all boils down to control, power and control. And when people feel powerless in their own lives is when they become abusive of their power in other people's lives. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Peace out, love and light. Have a great morning. I hope to be able to come on later today, maybe in the afternoon, but maybe. I mean, I got to be easy on myself too with being, I'll explain in my next video what my symptoms are. I think it's all tied in with the allergies, actually. That's kind of what the doctor determined yesterday, is that the allergies like kicked off this whole like gastrointestinal craziness. So it sounds legit. Seemed like she hit the nail on the head. And then she prescribed me a couple more remedies that, I don't know. I think I'm feeling better already. But like I said yesterday too, I think it's moving through me. So hopefully I'm on the mend, and love and light. Thanks for watching. And I got my giant mug of coffee. Get this girl to her practice, and see you soon. Thanks again. And end stream. Hello. This damn touch screen. There we go.